Welcome. I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I sell the products you'll see in this video and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website. I'd really appreciate it if you became my customer and clicked those links to be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up. You'll see where to find all of that at the end of this video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I'm using the really cute, awesome otters. I'm using this guy this time. This is one of those free stamp sets that you can select with a $50 order between now and the end of February. And this Simply Marvelous paper is also another item that you can get with another $50 order. This designer series paper is really lovely, and I am using the Balmy Blue. So it's got this, I'm calling this a parchment paper, and on this a watery paper. I've got a piece of Balmy Blue cardstock that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. A piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. And you'll need a scrap of basic white. I grabbed some labels out of my label box that I keep. But when you cut your basic white, you will have 1/2-inch strips that you can use. And you will also need a scrap for this guy to stamp on. We're going to cut him out. I'm using the new medium and medium light Stampin' Blends. I'm using number 700 and number 500. And also the light Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend and the light Balmy Blue Stampin' Blend. And I'm also using some of these silver and clear epoxy resin essentials. I thought these looked a lot like our splashes of water. And if you'd like, you can also use some Wink of Stella to add a little bit of glimmer. You will also want to use the Stamparatus for this project. I'm going to cut my designer series paper to 5 1/4. And I probably should have done this before, but I just want to cut this down to, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch. I just want a strip to use on the inside of my card. This piece I want to cut it down. I think I'm going to put the otter a little bit lower, so I'm going to cut it down to 3.5 inches, I think. We'll see how that goes. So this is the sky, and this is the water. And then I'm getting my Stamparatus. I want to mark off where my 5 1/4 by 4 is, so 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. So this line by 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the size of my card front. So this is just 1/4 of an inch larger. Then I'm going to put this swimming otter. On my original, I put the swimming otter pretty much right in the middle. But I think I want him down a little bit, like maybe there. Pick him up. Then I'm going to put this designer series paper on my line at the top. And I find that when I'm inking with a Stamparatus, putting a block or a stamp pad underneath works really nicely. Ink this guy up and stamp him. And then on the watery side, I'm going to put that at the bottom. And ink him up again. Then I also want to ink my basic white cardstock, so I just want to know where he's going so I can be sure and cover him up here. And I'll ink it one more time. So with this strip, I'm going to just, let's see, it doesn't matter which side I use. I just want to put this across the front, so I'm aligning it on this side so I know how much adhesive to put on. And I'm not putting it all the way on the bottom. I'm going to leave a little bit of white across the bottom. And then I'm going to just trim this. And I can go ahead and put this on the inside of my card. And I'm going to go ahead and color my otter. I'm using the new Natural line of Stampin' Blends. This is SU 700. It's one of the medium light colors. And I'm coloring the otter. I want to color around those water droplets. And then this is from the medium, it's SU 500. And I'll go ahead and color that in. I don't want to color his eyes. And I didn't put it on the list, but if you want to use the light basic black Stampin' Blend for his nose, you can. And then I want to cut him out, and I want to cut straight up to the side of his head and then cut around. And I'm basically cutting off those little whispers. And I should probably cut that too. I think I will. And then this goes straight down. Because these little extra marks will be on the Designer Series paper, so we don't have to duplicate it. We won't lose it. And then we want to cut basically a wavy line. And you can make it as wavy as you want, but I'm kind of trying to match this wave that's on the stamp. And we can keep right on going past his head and then keep on going all the way across. Then we can go ahead and adhere this on the top. And I want it even on the top and the sides. And I absolutely meant to not adhere this bottom part of it, and of course I did. So let me see if I can pull that up. Now I'm going to cut along this water's edge under his head. I'm using a craft blade. Perhaps you have another kind of blade, or you could cut down from here because we're going to be covering up the top if you want to cut down and across. And we'll slot him into there. You want to match that part and then adhere down here. Then we can slip this under here. We're going to slip his head over. And match the sides, match his head. And then we'll adhere across the bottom. And he is just the cutest little guy, but I'm going to make him a little bit cuter by giving him a birthday hat. So I'm going to stamp that. Like I said in the beginning, you're going to have these 1/2-inch strips probably. You can flag the ends on that. I happen to have a couple of tags that I've saved, and this one already has birthday from many messages. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere that. You could certainly use its birthday time like I did on my original, and you can put that on any of those skinny labels. It will be wonderful. Coloring the birthday hat. I'm using the Balmy Blue and the Daffodil Delight. And I think I'll put the pom-pom and the dots in yellow. You could use any colors that you have that might be a good birthday hat. And while you've got your Balmy Blue, there's some splashes that you can color in Balmy Blue and highlight those a little bit. Get these splashes here. And you could even draw along these watery lines if you'd like, just to kind of bring those out. If you'd like to use Wink of Stella on the water splashes. And again, you could do that on those wavy lines too. And I think I'll do that to the birthday hat as well. A little sparkle is always fun. Cut out the birthday hat. And I'll put that on with a glue dot. But you could use multi-purpose glue or whatever adhesive you like. Put his hat over there. And then we'll use some of the clear epoxy. These look a lot like droplets, and on my original I used a mix of the silver and the clear. You could use all of one or all of the other. I did use these mimicking the splashes here, so it's like splashing up. And that's it. Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free directions and links for the products I used. You can click individual products or the Add All to the cart. You will be able to remove products you don't need or add more products. I have lots of resources on my website. Most of them are free. It's easy to miss some of those resources or to get lost exploring. Let me take you on a quick tour. Just under the banner image are 6 links. Under Shop, you'll find links to the products from Bev, shopping strategies, my frequent shopping points, and a sampling from the clearance rack. Under Inspiration, you can link to scroll all of my projects since 2011. The products may be retired, but you may be inspired by a layout, color combination, or a technique. I have the basics, where I've written about stamps, ink and paper, cutting, adhesives, and my favorite tools. You'll find a link to Techie Tips and an easy link back to my latest post. Click on Getting Organized, and you'll find some of my resources for stamp case slips, product labels, large labels for designer series paper, and more. Case inserts for dies, embellishments, and anything I think might fit in a stamp case, including ink refills. You'll also find color tools and charts, a practically free stamp pad storage solution, tabs and a quick reference for the annual catalog, and plans for toolkits. I have a video of my craft wall and more. Click on Evernote Current Products and you can learn how to share my notebook. This notebook has a note for every current product from Stampin' Up! It allows you to search by color, image, product type, word, phrase, or event, and more. I include French, German, and Dutch names and numbers when available, and the prices for all the markets. Evernote synchronizes on your phone, tablet, and/or your desktop or laptop computer, so you can look through the Stampin' Up! Catalog from anywhere, anytime. You can copy my notes for the products you own so you can find just what you're looking for. When products retire, I move them to the Retired Products Notebook, which I also share, and I host a notebook for Paper Pumpkin. Click on Sip Together and then Let's Stamp to come stamp with me or join my Sip Together team. There's also a link to learn a bit about me. The sitemap will help you navigate all these links from one page. And there are quick links along the side of my page. Shop Now takes you to my online store at Stampin' Up! You'll see the current host code. It would be a great help to me if you use that if you are ordering less than $150. You can click on the current catalogs to page through them online. And I've got a link to a color lab to get color combinations. And then there are my links to my 5 most recent posts. Thank you very much for stopping by and hope to see you soon.